This is a gyoza. Well, I guess most of you already would have known what this is. This iconic crescent pouch looking shape of a dumpling could be seen sold at almost any corner of the streets of Japan. But do you really know what a gyoza is? Probably not. Say, did you know that gyozas did not originate from Japan? As a matter of fact, the birthplace of gyoza is actually China. So then, the question is, when and how did gyozas came to Japan? Apparently, the first ever sighting of a gyoza on Japanese soil was actually during the Edo period in 1778. And interestingly enough, this first appearance wasn't quite literal in its actual sense, as it first appeared in a book called the Shinzoku Kibun. This book was like a for dummies guide about Chinese living, and there were pictures of gyozas in it. What is known from all of this was, gyoza did not become mainstream among commoners back then. The next time gyoza made another notable appearance in Japan was during the Showa period. After 1945, there was an influx of Japanese returning from China, and along with them in this return was their first-hand knowledge and know-how about gyoza. Those Japanese began making and selling gyozas in Japan, and according to experts, gyozas went viral throughout Japan. Now, as to why it became popular, there are 5 reasons for it. Firstly, as with any other food in Japan, the main criteria to be popular and viral is, it has to be delicious. And if you ever tried gyoza before, you know what I'm talking about. The slightly burnt, crispy exterior of the dumpling, and in it, a small portion of the juicy and succulent minced meat. Oof! What an iconic taste! So yummy! Secondly, back in those days, gyoza was considered cheap. Gyoza being affordable was paramount to its popularity, as it was during a time when majority of the Japanese population weren't so affluent. In fact, gyoza has always been cheap. Even in present-day Japan, the cheapest gyoza chain, Gyoza no Osho, is selling 6 pieces for only 290 yen! In addition, the food gyoza is considered by Japanese as a food that possesses a well-balanced nutrition, and this further adds to its popularity. Fourthly, due to its size, gyoza could be arranged and used in different ways during a meal, such as a main dish or even a side dish. And this leads us to our final reason to wrap it all up. Gyoza could be easily made at home. I guess this is pretty logical, as something has to be readily accessible and easy to make for it to be popular among the masses. Surprisingly enough, even though modern-day Japanese gyoza share the same origin as its Chinese dumpling counterpart, there are actually some notable differences. For starters, Japanese gyozas are mostly pan-fried, while Chinese dumplings are boiled, and only leftover dumplings are then pan-fried. The taste, too, contributes to the differences between the two. The presence of garlic in the meat-filled filling was unique to the gyoza then, and even the usage of chili oil in its dipping sauce too. With a better idea of what gyoza is right now, this marks the start of our gyoza adventure. In Japan, it is said that there are 7 legendary gyozas scattered across 7 different cities, called the Gotochi Gyozas. The word Gotochi means local specialty, and those gyozas are called as such because it is a well-known fact among Japanese that people in those cities eat a lot more gyozas, so much so that gyozas has become somewhat like a staple over there. And there are actually many Japanese people who visit those cities specifically for gyozas. And if you ask any Japanese along the streets of Japan what are the famous Gotochi gyozas, it is very likely they will mention some of the 7 or even the entire list. In our gyoza adventure, we will travel to those 7 cities and collect eat those Gotochi gyozas, learn about their origins, and find out what made them so special. And with that, we begin our gyoza adventure in Fukuoka, the first gyoza bowl, Hakata Tetsunabe Gyoza. Immediately, I think one thing that really struck me by surprise is actually how small the gyoza is. Look at this. This gyoza is really, really small. Oh my goodness. This is not your usual gyoza size. Look at that. It's just like my eye. Wonderful, really small. Right, so one very big characteristic of Tetsunabe gyoza, it's its small size nature of it. In fact, there is a nickname for this. This is called the one mouth gyoza. Yeah, you can see it's really small. Immediately I can just put it in my mouth, look at it. Right, easy. And I noticed one thing over here, look at the plate. Usually for gyozas, after they're done with their preparation, they usually serve them in a comfortable plate. But look at this. This is not an ordinary plate here. This is a hot plate. Now the word Tetsunabe gyoza is actually hot iron plate gyoza. Hot iron plate gyoza. So as you can see over here, tremendous, plate of iron over here, sizzling hot right here. So the purpose of this hot iron plate is to keep your gyoza warm and hot through your entire course of eating. So your gyozas will always be hot while you eat as you dip the sauce. Wonderful here. So these two are the main characteristics of Tetsunabe gyoza. Wonderful here. Oh, hot. Inside is a mix of pork. I can taste onions as well. Oh, very fragrant here. Extremely crispy on the outside. On the inside, it's really, soft. You can taste the skin, the soft skin on the inside, and thereafter the meat. What do you think of the gyoza? It looks delicious. Honestly, it is very delicious. Now, I would like to stress, actually, the gyoza have 3 layers just now. I didn't manage to elaborate clearly and better just now, but so I'll do so right now. The gyoza has 3 layers. So at the top, it's actually 2 layers of skin. That's one layer 2, and then afterwards the meat fillings. The first layer is the one that they actually made it crispy. The second one, they controlled the temperature, controlled the timing to make it soft and mochi. Right? The intention is actually to be crispy on the outside, mochi on the inside. And then afterwards you have the meat filling. Ooh, what an imaginative way of making gyoza here. Wonderful. Now I also like to also add that the meat fillings, there's definitely onions inside. I could taste it. The meat, I guess, is pork, typical kind of gyoza meat. Very tender, very sweet. A hint of pepper as well, and somewhat a little spicy. Oh, just wonderful overall. In all my years of eating gyoza, this is the first time I ate a gyoza that is that small. Literally, it's the size of this. A AA battery, a USB flash drive, or even a matchstick. Simply unbelievable. Very pleasant experience over there. The shop has a very great vibe, bustling. You can see the chef there preparing the gyozas. You might be wondering this question. So what's the recommended serving for one person? Well, Neko-san told me that for Tetsunabe gyoza, the recommended serving for one person is actually 12. 12 pieces of Tetsunabe gyoza. Anything more, it's up to you. I have seen online where Japanese actually wrote that they could actually eat 4 servings of Tetsunabe gyoza. So that's 48 servings. When it's that small, it's easy to eat that many. It actually feels like a snack sometimes, in my eating journey just now. But overall, magnificent. Really delicious, all around fantastic. I can't wait to try the gyoza from the top gyoza cities in Japan. I wonder what they have to offer and how different it is from, the Tetsunabe gyoza. I hope you learned something from today's video, and definitely I hope you find it delicious. If you do like it and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later.